Canadians just hit the $1 trillion mark in consumer debt, and it keeps growing. George Bulkey is the author of It's Your Money, and he joins me this morning. Good morning, George.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Susan.
Happy New Year. How do we make it through January with the Christmas and other bills heading our way?
Well, first of all, New Year's resolutions don't work most of the time, which is why fitness clubs are a ghost town starting in February. But, the great news is it's a new year, and it's a chance to start over, to do better, to do more, or when it comes to interest and payments, to do a whole lot less. The bad news is we're pretty much broke already because we know what the mail's going to bring in January. And as Canadians, we spend 120% of what we make in a year. Half of us don't have a savings at all, and 70% of us don't even make RRSP contributions. So, there's probably some pretty easy steps to walk through as to what we can do starting in January. But first thing first, Susan, when you're in a hole, stop digging.
Right.
In other words, stop spending less, spend less or earn a whole bunch more. Annual bills absolutely kill your budget, because what happens is when these bills come, they somehow are a surprise. Whether it's Christmas on credit cards or wondering how we're going to pay for, something like a car insurance. If you haven't got the money, open a savings account that's not hooked to your ATM card. Take your Christmas bill, your property tax, your car insurance, your home insurance, divide it by 12, and put that money away. It's a huge way to get proactive.
What are some other steps we can take to turn our finances around in these economic times?
Set yourself a credit limit. Pick a dollar figure below which you're not going to use your credit card. Maybe it's $20, maybe it's $30. That's it. Anything below that, you're going to pay with real money instead of running up debt. It becomes a great habit, and you'd be amazed how it cuts down your credit card balance. Pay one bill off at a time. Minimum payments on anything but your smallest bill. Find whatever your smallest one is and take every dime you have towards it while paying minimum on anything else. In 2 or 3 months, that little bill is going to be gone, and then take the next smallest and focus only on it, one step at a time, and you'd be amazed how quickly you become debt-free.
Do you think more people actually got into debt in 2008, or do you think people were always in debt and they're just more aware of it now?
Well, our debt's been going up 5% a year. It becomes more painful when gas prices start hitting $1.30 a liter, or when the economy starts going bad. But, half the time you have to remember, Susan, a recession is mostly in our head. If you start, 96, 97% of Albertans have a job and are doing fine financially.
Right.
If it starts to depress you, you got to watch a whole lot more MTV and a whole lot more sports and less of CNN and business networks.
Right. Yeah. There's some new innovations coming soon that will change the credit industry. I understand we could be seeing prepaid credit cards. How do they work, and are they already available?
Well, Visa and MasterCard are going to spend 2009 targeting a whole lot more people on prepaid credit cards because it avoids delinquency totally. The problem they're having right now is they got to figure out, their internal rules say you have to have expiry dates, and the Alberta law, for instance, and other provinces as well, just changed to be able to not have expiry dates. If you got gift cards for Christmas, think of them like bananas. Use them up. You do not want to be the last one holding a gift card when businesses go out of business. Use them up.
And what advice would you give people who need to cut back?
Well,
what's the best thing they can do to start?
First of all, take your credit card out of your wallet. You do not need your credit card heading to work tomorrow. That way the temptation is gone and what you charge is a whole lot less. Just take a $20 or a $50 bill and hide it in your wallet for emergency money. We spend 18% more when we pay by credit card, and merchants count on it. Second one, set up a tax-free savings account. These came out a couple days ago. Set one up even if it's only for $100, but it gets you started. But be really careful to ask first about all the fees, the opening fees, annual fees, if there's any cost for contributing or withdrawals. This, for most people, they're going to spend more in fees than they're going to make in interest. Third one, get informed and get answers. Knowing is always better than hoping. $20 and not even tax or shipping gets you the It's Your Money book with literally a ton of insights and money savers. Independent companies such as Primerica Financial will do a whole financial need analysis for free, and it's well worth it. Or get in touch with something like a nonprofit credit counseling agency for some help and feedback. And lastly, try to keep your car for another year. If you think a cool car is a status symbol and a must-have, you're going to be doomed in debt for decades. Not to mention that almost half the people who trade their car owe more than it's worth. The goal should be to drive some reliable vehicle that doesn't have payments, because it's a huge way to get ahead financially.
Well, that's great. Thanks so much, George.
My pleasure. And for 2009, I wish you 3 months of emergency savings, a debit card in your wallet and a credit card that stays at home, a zero balance line of credit, a mortgage renewal that you've shopped around, and payroll deduction for some RSPs.
George Bulkey, author of It's Your Money. All of those great tips are on George's website at yourmoneybook.com.